Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda, and today I don't want to say that I have something that's sort of stream of consciousness, because let's be fair, all of my posts are kind of stream of consciousness. But I want to talk about something. I want to talk about a book, and I don't know what my feelings are about it. So I can't talk about this book without spoiling it. So I will do a little bit at the beginning that's non-spoilery, and then I will let you know, and I will also do a timestamp. But I'll let you know when I go into spoiler territory. So if you don't want to be spoiled, and this is a book that if you are planning to read it, you don't want to be spoiled, you can, peace out and go on. So the book I want to talk about is In the Woods by Tana French. Now, Tana French is a very popular author, but this is the first of her books that I've read. It is also the first in the Dublin Murder Squad, which is her series, which I think has 6 books. And I've heard interesting things about Tana French. Like, I know she can be a little aggravating for some people, but I know other people really like her. So I didn't know what it was going into it. So let me tell you a little bit about this story. So we're focusing on a young detective. His name is Rob Ryan. That's the name he goes by. And his partner, whose name is Cassie, who's also very young. And they have a very close brother-sister-ish kind of, until a point, relationship. But they are very close. And it is a intimate relationship in that they know a lot about each other that other people do not know. And they are willing to share things about themselves that they wouldn't share with other people. So they get put on a case of a murdered girl, 12-year-old girl. And this murder happened in a neighborhood where, I don't know, 20 years earlier, 25 years earlier, 3 children disappeared. And 2 of them have never been found. And the third one was found. And that third one was Adam Ryan, which is Rob Ryan. He started going by his middle name. And, but no one other than his partner, Cassie, knows that that's him. And, there's the question. Cassie asks him, do you want to be on this? Because it's really traumatic. He has no memory of what happened. It's like, he says, it's like his memory starts, he was 12 years old at the time. Memory starts when parents sent him to boarding school afterwards to kind of get him, out of there, because there's a lot of press. There was a lot of press when that happened. And he's like, nope, I'm going to be fine, which of course, he isn't. There is also right there the threat of, if he's found out that he is the boy that lived, he is going to lose his job. So they start investigating this murder of this young girl, and it starts to look like the 2 are related. And as it goes on, Rob starts really dealing with a lot of stuff, and he doesn't always make the best choices at all. Rob is not a super likable character, but he's very human and very flawed. And I really did appreciate that. And that's all I'm going to say about the book, because again, you want to go in with not much knowledge about it. My general thoughts about this book: incredibly well written. I thought that, this is an almost 600-page book, and it did not feel long to me. Like the ability to keep the pace going for that long is an accomplishment, and that is a sign of a skilled writer. So props to Tana French. I was very interested in where this story went. She brought up some great things, some great issues, which I won't elaborate on because spoiler. And I thought, and it's pretty clear that she knows, she's not alive. She knows the ins and outs of how, this sort of thing works in the real world. And I did really enjoy it. I read a lot of books like this, and this was definitely, as far as that, really, really good. And then we get to the end, and what spawned this post was, I had said in a weekly reads that I was just about finished with this book, and Hannah at Savage Read said, I want to know what you thought about the end of this book, because she had issues with it. And I cannot discuss the end without spoiling it. So as of right now, spoiler time. If you do not want to be spoiled, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, join my Discord down below, and I'll see you next time. You have been warned. We are going into spoiler territory. Okay, so there's 2 mysteries in this book. There is the story of the murder of Katie Devlin, who is the main character. As you know, I'm assuming at this point, if you're still with my video, or you don't care what it is. And then there's the whole mystery of what happened to Rob/Adam when he was a child. The Katie mystery, that works very much like a traditional mystery. You get your resolution. It may not be the most satisfying personally. Like, as a reader, it's a very realistic solution. It is believable, but also, you're still kind of left wishing that the person who is really, who it is, it's Rosalind. You really wish the Rosalind, who is clearly a psychopath, is held to account where she is not. And there is a frustration with that, but I think that's an intended frustration, so it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm okay with being that. Things like that happen all the time in reality. I am okay with that. The book recognizes what happened. So to me, that is not a detriment to the book. Now, the other mystery is the mystery of what happened when Rob was a child. And a lot of real estate in this book is devoted to that. And we keep inching towards getting some clues to it and falling back, and we uncover things. So it's always this. But ultimately, we end the book where we began with that one. In fact, so much so that through the course of this, when Adam starts remembering things about what happened, he starts forgetting them. So we really are where we started at the end of the book, and we don't ever solve it. And to me, I'm unsettled about that. I am okay with unsolved mysteries. I am not necessarily okay the way this was left unsolved. First of all, there was so much time devoted to it in this book that I felt that the reader deserved a little bit more of the payoff. Not necessarily solving the murder, but something. I didn't think we should be where we stopped. I don't think we should have not gone anywhere with it, which, is what happened. We ended up where we started. And I think the whole idea of Rob/Adam forgetting everything that he started to learn through the course of this book almost felt like a cheap way out of it. Now, my frustration with the ending actually started before the ending, because there's definitely progress being made with the Katie storyline. And, as I said, that follows sort of the conventions of this sort of novel. But I started getting okay, there's X amount left in this book, and all of a sudden we aren't moving forward with this other part of it. So there started to be this sort of uneven feel between the two storylines. And then I felt like we completely dropped the older storyline just to finish off the Katie storyline, even though the fact that it existed. So, Rob got in trouble when it was revealed that he was this third kid, and that professionally and personally had a lot of negative repercussions for him. That was important, but I still felt like we were strung along with this other story. I didn't necessarily need a solution to it, but I needed a reason why there wasn't a solution to it. And that's where I think this kind of fell down. And I felt a little bit robbed. I felt like I spent enough time in this that I deserved a bit more than I got. So where does this leave me with this book? I ended up giving this an A. And I'll tell you why, because first of all, this is the first book in a series. This is the first Tana French that I have read. I don't know if this sort of ending is indicative of her books. I do know that in some of her books, and I don't know which ones, but I do know that in some of her books, she tends to inch towards the supernatural. And I don't know if that's where she was trying to go with this. And if it was, I wish she would have just committed and done it. I don't know if we're going to revisit this in later books, which would make a big difference to if this does come up. And I think the next book focuses on Cassie. And if this old case sort of resurfaces with Cassie and we get a little bit more to it, then I would feel better kind of retrospectively about this book. And I don't know these things. If this book were not as well written and didn't have the pluses with it that it did, I would probably give it a lower grade. That A is given, I'm giving it with some benefit of the doubt. Clearly, I am going to read more Tana French. Now, even though I'm reading Tana French, I kind of feel like she's on a little bit of a short leash with me, because if this is the way she always kind of ends things, with this sort of like, I gave you a bunch of stuff and then I left you, I didn't pay you back as I should. I'm not saying you have to solve it. I'm saying you need to give us something. If that is her sort of signature, then I if I see that in the next book or two, I might be out. I don't know. Hannah said she was very angry at the end of this book, which I completely understand. I don't think I was angry. I think I was perplexed, because the rest of this book was so strong. And then I felt like the way the end of this older storyline happened and the way we were left with it was almost amateurish. I was just more perplexed than frustrated. But now I kind of feel like, okay, you had this. I gave you the benefit of the doubt on this book. What are you going to do with it? Now, if we never mention the story again, fine, whatever. My children are so loud. It was a fluke. But if I start seeing this sort of ending again, and I will be clear, I am not against the supernatural. So I do know in some books, and I don't know which ones, she goes supernatural. I'm okay with that. I know some people aren't, and I think that's a very valid criticism. It's just that I personally am okay with it. But if I start getting these sort of, these endings that just sort of didn't pay off like they should, then I think I'm going to be out with Tana French. Those are my thoughts. If you have read In the Woods or other Tana Frenches, and I know people said, oh, they're so wonderful, and other people, like Hannah, very valid on Hannah's part. I was very angry, which I understand because I was very perplexed. Let me know down below. I'm really interested, or you can let me know in my Discord, information down below, and we can talk more about it. So I did want to address this because I didn't think I could do my thoughts justice and just to reply to Hannah. And two, I didn't think I could do it in comments and not spoil it. So I thought I'm going to do a video and then have a spoiler section so people can, if they want to really know the details, they can. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment, tell me about your Tana French experience, join my Discord, information down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.